Okay, it happened, y'all. The cloture vote happened, and 10 Democrats voted for it. And this is this is about as bad as it gets for Dems just giving the fuck up completely. So Chuck Schumer led the charge on this. I don't know. Ahmed's got some background on a fight that may have happened and some yelling on this, but um, these Dems led by Schumer gave up on the only leverage that we had and stopping all of their terrible their bill, their just all their abuses. This is the only leverage that we had on this cloture vote. Now it goes to the CR vote, and that is just a simple majority. So now they don't need us anymore. And it's pretty ridiculous. And I was fucking pissed about it earlier, hearing about Schumer doing the heel turn and turning on everybody, and now the fact that this thing went through is even more infuriating. What are you thinking about it, man? Oh,
Yeah,
by the way, I'm
you want me to
driving,
play the take? Do you want me to play it?
landed in Chicago, and I'm driving right now. Yeah, let's play the clip that I recorded right after I got off of the airplane.
All right.
Just getting off the airplane in Chicago, and I'm just catching up on the news. And if this is Chuck Schumer, if you vote this way, you're gonna get fucking primary by us right here. We're gonna primary you. If you vote this way, you're a fucking coward. Okay? You're a fucking coward, and you're an asshole. You know why you're an asshole? Because the conservative House members who held the line with Hakeem Jeffries and did as they were told, they're now at risk. So now, these House members that are in these red districts and these swing districts, you put them at risk because they voted, because they're thinking that you're going to hold the line too. But you're not holding the line because you're a coward. You're a fucking coward, and we're coming for you. We're going to primary you, and anybody else in the swing area, we're going to primary them too. Common Power is coming for you, and we're going to rally as many people as we can to do the same. If you make us lose the House, Chuck, fucking done. Let's take this dude down. I'm just getting out there.
All right, yeah, man.
Strong words.
I was hot, dude, and I still am. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense at all, man. Help me understand this.
Yeah, I mean, I took the visual down for a second just so we could talk through it. I mean, I basically, if this is a clean CR, this would be a tougher decision. But
Okay.
not a clean CR. It has these poison pill provisions that are bigger than poison pills. It basically cedes tariff. They're ceding the power to hold a vote on tariffs to Trump so he can more unilaterally do that. They're doing, I think, billions in cuts domestically that they can, I guess, codify what they've done with Doge. It's just there's a lot of things in there that I think Democrats should have made noise about. And frankly, I'm just, regardless of the shutdown itself, I think Democrats should have prepared for this. It seems like they didn't have a
Yeah.
plan. It seems like going into this week, you would have thought they would have had, like, first off, the tariff provision itself, that giving Donald more power over the tariffs, that itself should have been a key thing that Democrats raised hell about this week. Stock markets were crashing. It was the perfect
Yeah.
storm for them to use this as a stand, and they just fumbled it. And
Yeah,
I
they
know Chuck on the
they,
other end is saying, sorry, go ahead.
they didn't get anything. They didn't get anything out of this. They could have fought for something from some, moderate voting demographic. They didn't even filibuster, dude. Where's the fucking filibuster at? Where's the up all night and I mean they didn't even do like cosmetic shit for the
No,
cameras. They
they
could have
didn't.
held this shit up and like been heroes and be like, oh, we did all we could. Like where they didn't even do the performative things. They just gave up.
On the other side, there he's arguing, and some of the other people are saying that if they shut it down, then, you know, Musk and them would do more damage when it was shut down. They might not rehire furloughed workers. But the response to that is this wasn't about, it's not shut down or this bill. It's why didn't you
Right.
raise hell to push for a
Yeah.
clean CR? Why weren't you out here preparing for this outcome? It seems like they were just banking on Speaker Johnson not getting 218 votes or 217 or whatever they needed to pass it. And they didn't come up with a contingency plan. And it just feels to me that Schumer specifically doesn't see, I don't think he buys the rhetoric. It seems to me, if you thought Trump was a real existential threat to democracy, you would
Right.
be acting that way. And it seems to me that maybe it's performative to him. I think some of the others see it more clearly. You have AOC, you have Chris Murphy out here, you have other people who are speaking
Right.
more
Right.
forcefully. And again, I understand the need to keep the government open, but that's not what this debate was about. It's not this CR or government closed. It's where push for the clean
Right.
CR and highlight the horrible things they put in this CR.
Yep. Yeah. Well, so yeah. So you're saying it's not this false binary. It
Yeah.
was actually multiple, the gradient of choices that we had. And they could have done any number of things. I mentioned a few of them. And they did none of it. They didn't even like pressure, we were talking about this before. There wasn't like a story about like a behind the scenes thing where they confronted the Republicans and said, if you don't, if you don't do this, then we're not going to vote for it. Like we've got 10 people ready to go, but we want this one thing first. They didn't do anything. They got nothing for it, man. It's fucking ridiculous. And here's the other thing. The thing I said in that video, that's a huge deal. So this is like, AOC put out a video and she was talking about this. And she doesn't want to burn bridges and she doesn't want to like name names exactly. And she was basically saying it feels like betrayal. And what that is like, the House and the Senate are like, okay, if you guys all hold and you guys vote for this, then we got the other side. You all, the House members that are taking a risk on their re-elections, which is every 2 years, so they're going to be up sooner. They're going to be up next year. And that like you guys go ahead and do this risky vote in your swing states and vote to shut down the government in the eyes of the voter. And we on the Senate, we got the other side of this, and we're gonna make it worth your while. She's like, they're not gonna trust them anymore.
Yeah.
So if you're a moderate Dem in a swing district in the House, you're not gonna take any votes that are aligned with Chuck Schumer. I wouldn't listen to shit he has to say. I wouldn't trust any strategy that he puts out because I'd be like, you're gonna screw me again. It's like Charlie Brown in the fucking football, dude. I wouldn't do that. I would just vote to get reelected.
Yeah. There was
This is
no
this is a possible beginning of the end of solidarity in the House for Dems.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a total mess up. He didn't have a cohesive strategy. Even Pelosi released a statement today saying, basically condemning Schumer for what's going on.
Good.
It was just really dumb, really poorly planned. There was no coherent strategy. Schumer's not the man for the hour. It's just as clear as day. He's not doing what he needs to do here. I don't see what the approach was. It seems that it was like a last minute thing. Apparently, there was reporting that Kristen Gillibrand was yelling in a meeting
Okay.
yesterday. So it's like before that meeting, there was, certain Schumer said they were going to vote no. They go in the meeting,
Yeah.
there's shouts, there's people, and Gillibrand was one of the people that voted yes. So apparently there was some convincing done in that meeting. And if we look at who voted yes, we have some people in key swing states. Maybe they have.
Okay. Let's talk about that. Yeah. Who are these people?
So we have Senator Cortez Masto in Nevada. We have Durbin in Illinois. We have Fetterman in Pennsylvania, Gillibrand, New York. We have Maggie Hassan in New Hampshire, King, Maine, Gary Peters, Michigan, Schatz, Hawaii, Schumer, New York, Shaheen, New Hampshire. So that's the vote spread. Some in safe blue states, others in swing states.
Okay. All right. And I don't know how good my signal is here, man. So you may only be hearing curse words from me. So okay, so there's like first of all, like varying degrees of why these people voted the way they did.
Yeah.
Help me to understand how two senators from a blue state, a deep blue state, New York, how do they end up voting for this?
Well, Schumer's on CNN as we speak. I don't know what he's saying though, but so I think
Yeah,
someone like Schumer and Gillibrand, I think they're just misreading the politics. I think they're misreading the moment. I think they think shutting down government equals bad politics, or they think they'll get blamed for it. Um, I do understand the argument that if they were to shut it down, there's no guarantee they will reopen, and that they would use Russell Vought and Musk would do a lot of damage in the interim. But again, I still don't think it was a binary. I think they messed up by not having negotiated behind the scenes or been more forceful beforehand to even prevent the shutdown in the first place. I think they're misreading the moment, and I think they're pretending that this is regular politics. I think, um, in spite of what Trump is doing right now, I think it's the same people who didn't buy who only thought it was campaign rhetoric last year when everyone was talking about the authoritarianism. I think there's a performative nature to some of this politics, and yeah, I just think Democrats are misreading the moment. And they need to move with more ferocity and more cohesion. And we need strategists at the top. We don't need
yeah.
performers who aren't even really performing.
Well, and we need people who live in this area of politics. I feel like Chuck Schumer is still like he's playing the greatest hits from the '90s, where he's like, okay, so we're gonna vote yes on cloture, but we're going to vote no on CR. And so the story is going to be able to be that we voted no for this thing and we tried to stop it. And people are smarter than that. One of the here's like a take on like this era of politics. People are more aware in this last decade of voting and the structure of the U.S. Congress than they have been for generations.
Yeah,
And that's one of the things that comes out of such a polarized electorate and so it's such consequential elections is that people are now more aware. They understand about the 50 in the Senate plus the vice president. They understand like the term cloture is not is was never even in my vocabulary. I didn't know shit about it. And most voters didn't, not even the ones that were actively involved in this stuff. But now we're starting to like people get it. They understand this and they're not falling for that shit and he still thinks that he can get a win from this and
yeah,
claim that he fought against it.
yeah. I mean, I really want to hear what he's saying. He's on CNN as we speak. I might go and mute this, just to hear how he's trying to spin it. But like, it's, I don't see how you could spin it. I just think it was a fumble from the beginning. There's no cohesive strategy. You knew this day was coming for months. Where was the strategy behind this? And you know the details of the bill since the weekend. Why weren't every single Democrat on every single cable network talking to every influencer on TikTok, posting their own videos, talking about what's in this bill? It should have been framed as a pro-tariff bill. Like the messaging was right in front of their faces.
Yeah,
The stock market was crashing. There's a tariff measure in the bill. You focus on the most unpopular,
yeah,
easy as
yeah,
day. Mobilize the public against it, frame it as a pro-tariff CR,
yeah,
demand a clean CR, and then you've reframed the debate.
yeah,
And then you
yeah.
apply some
Do
pressure.
do some press conferences out there. Bring in some small businesses to stand by the podium and talk about tariffs have already impacted their business. You know, some importers. You know, there's a ton of them up in New York, right, right by the dock. Man, he could have grabbed. He could have made a whole show of this.
They could have roped,
Okay,
yeah,
so
they could have roped it
so
right in. Yeah.
this is the beginning of the end of Chuck Schumer. And it's not going to be gradual. It's going to fall off a cliff. There's already calls for AOC to primary him. I think he's out, and I think anyone in a blue state who voted this way has the questions are now going to start swirling about them being out too. Also, anybody who didn't take this thing seriously and still thinks it's the politics of the '90s and they're still playing all the politics, I think everybody is suspect now, dude. Everybody is potentially in the primary uh bin, and I'm like I'm fired up and ready to go about this, dude. I'm looking at the calendar and I'm planning I'm planning where we're gonna be for the next few years because we're going after people. We're not gonna lay down for this shit.
Yeah, I mean,
All right.
just looking at this now, man, like I think moments like this are catalyzing moments that bring new leaders up, right? You
Yep.
have rising authoritarianism, and then you have some failures in the current Dem leadership. I think we could be looking at a very different Democratic Party leadership in 2026, well before that maybe. And then in 2028, a totally different party, a younger party.
Yeah.
And one, I'm hoping this creates the course correction that could lead to a wider era of progress post-Trump, because this may have been the shake and the wake-up call that some of these people have been in here. I'm looking at Schumer now. He's, the TV presence. Not that I'm an expert, just from being on there a few times, but homeboy's looking around. He's not like,
Oh yeah.
well, yeah, I mean, he's just not a force. He's been in the game for too long. I feel like he just doesn't. At this point, they're disconnected from reality. I don't know the way to put it. The only like Nancy Pelosi somehow is, still tethered. Throughout all of this, she's been the most tethered somehow. But
Yeah.
we need more people like that at a young, like people be authentic, genuinely believe this
Yeah.
stuff. If you don't believe this stuff and this is performance art to you, get out.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Nancy Pelosi being more forceful about Chuck Schumer than Hakeem Jeffries, that's not good for Jeffries, man. And I love that dude, but man, you if Nancy Pelosi is further to the left than you are on shit like this, you lost the plot, dude.
Yeah, let me look at exactly what Pelosi said, just to see. Extraordinary, that's what it's just statement calling on Democrats. She called on them to defy Schumer and reject. She said
Yeah,
Democratic senators should listen to the women.
yeah.
Wow.
Like, come on. Like, all right, all right,
All right,
okay,
keep
all right.
going.
So this is good for now. I will see where this goes. We'll I don't know, Ahmed. If something else pops off, dude, we might have to hop back on here. But let's just say for now, we'll try to do this again on Monday. But man, this is a milestone moment in the Democratic Party, dude.
It really is. It's a wake-up call. I think we're going to see a turning and a reshaping of leadership, and hopefully in the end, it's for the better. Sometimes you need these growing pains. You need these moments to recognize who's really up to bat and ready to tackle this moment. So,
Right. All right, man. Yeah. Stay optimistic. I appreciate it.
I
Silver
mean,
lining.
I bring the
Silver.
hopium. Bring the hopium, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. All right, man.
Okay. Take it easy.